Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Reimagine Sunnyside Park project video presentation. I'm Kira Johnson. I'm the project manager from the city side on this project. I work for the Public Lands Department for Salt Lake City. And I'm joined by Jennifer Fowler, who is our public engagement specialist, and Seth Vance, who's our landscape architect. A little background on this project: this once-in-a-lifetime project will enhance the park to better reflect neighborhood and regional needs. Community members and other stakeholders shared insights and ideas with our city project team in the fall of 2024. Insights shared from those events guided the draft designs of the park improvements that will be presented here in this video presentation. And a little background on the funding. As a part of the Parks, Trails, and Open Space General Obligation Bond that was approved by voters in late 2022, each council district received funding to improve 1 to 2 spaces. After an assessment of asset condition and quality, improvement needs, and safety concerns, Sunnyside Park was selected as one of the parks in Council District 6 to receive funding for improvements. The University of Utah announced that they'd be constructing a new ballpark at the site of their former practice field, which abuts Sunnyside Park. And to avoid having to build a wall in their left field and to make space for a 20-foot offset, the U negotiated a lease agreement with the city for 1.175 acres of Sunnyside Park. In exchange for that land lease, the U provided the city with $4.2 million to assist with this improvement and enhancement of amenities and green space at Sunnyside Park. And this project is anticipated to be constructed in 2027. And now I'll hand the time over to Jennifer.
Thank you, Kira. So as Kira mentioned, we kicked off the Reimagine Sunnyside Park project in fall 2024 with a stakeholder workshop, which was comprised of neighborhood representatives, members from the University of Utah, the Veterans Hospital, community councils, neighboring schools, and sports league groups that frequently reserve the amenities at the park. So at that workshop, we discussed the available funding from the bond, as well as the University of Utah, and explored features of the park that could be enhanced to better serve the community. In addition to that workshop, we also engaged with the broader public through an online survey, presentations at community councils, information booths at community events, and a public open house. Now, through that public engagement process, we asked the public to consider what they value in their neighborhood parks and what type of infrastructure improvements would enhance Sunnyside. We received input from nearly 350 residents and park users. Through this feedback, we identified 3 priorities for the park that the public voiced to us. Those priorities were: 1, add amenities that serve diverse interests, more age groups, and a broader ability levels. 2, maintain and enhance amenities by upgrading and updating what is existing. And 3, increase unprogrammed leisure areas with the addition of trees, trails, natural areas, and open spaces. So we took those 3 priorities that were developed with the public in mind and based on their feedback, and took those into the design phase. So I'm going to pass it over to Seth Vance, the landscape architect, and he's going to walk us through the 3 design concepts and the features they provide.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, as Jennifer mentioned, there are 3 concepts that were developed based on the feedback received from the public. Starting with concept A, we'll look at that. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with the existing park and amenities that it provides to the community. Just a brief overview. So the park is here. We have Guardsman Way and Sunnyside Avenue as the main roads adjacent to the park, with this upper left-hand corner being the property that the U of U is building their baseball field. Just something to note that construction is happening now. So this, even though this is the existing park map, it looks a little different than this today. But to get into the map a little bit, and for those of you that are familiar, this will be nothing new. There are 3 softball fields currently and 2 youth baseball fields, as well as 4 for multi-use fields. So think soccer, football, lacrosse, those types of sports. So practice and games can happen on all of these. And I'm sure many of you have played here at this park. So moving on to the concept designs and how we're envisioning a reimagine of this park space. This is the overview of the concept, and the next pages I'll show and highlight specific features and additional amenities that we'll be adding through this funding as an option. So in this area, as we looked at with the existing map, there are 2 softball fields and 1 multi-use field that are going away. So in place of those, we're proposing 2 new multi-use fields, as well as 6 pickleball courts. And then going out from there, we're proposing additional amenities that tie the whole park together and provide additional shade and other elements that we heard through the public feedback. So 2 picnic shelters and a larger pavilion. The picnic shelters would be a concrete pad with a picnic table, 1 picnic table, as well as the shaded structure, the picnic pavilion over the top of that. The larger pavilion could hold 6 to 10 picnic tables underneath and be similar with a concrete pad and the shelter over the top. The new playground is something that will be a really great feature and amenity so it's generally in the same location as the old playground. It's been determined that the playground will need to be replaced in the near future, and so now's a good time to expand and improve the playground equipment. Well, replace the playground equipment. We like the location here and feel that this could serve as a great area to redesign the playground in a future design phase. As well as that, this concept provides additional parking stalls deeper into the park that may allow better access to specific areas that you couldn't access as easily prior to this. Raised crosswalks and pedestrian crossings are something we'd like to incorporate. This concept proposes to have those in 3 locations. This essentially is, imagine in a vehicle, it's like a speed bump, but for a pedestrian, it's a at-grade crossing, so there's no need to go down and back up. And this prioritizes the pedestrian experience rather than the vehicular experience, which we feel is important. One thing I'll note is the proposed trees has a different symbol. So we would like to propose new trees. Trees are something very valuable in a park, and we feel need to be added to this design. So we've proposed those in many spots throughout the park, but especially up in the northwest corner, where the previous softball fields and the north multi-use field was. And then I also wanted to highlight the pedestrian pathways. So concept A will provide about an additional, or will provide approximately 1 mile of new asphalt trail. That's the dark gray color here that you can see kind of looping around. And then the lighter gray color is the 5-foot sidewalk, which will help connect different amenity areas and the existing bleachers and just tie the whole park together. I want to highlight as well the existing features of the park. Sunnyside Park is a great park, and there are existing elements that we would like to, due to budget constraints, are proposing to leave in place and continue to serve the function they've been serving. The multi-use fields in the bottom left, so the southwest corner, the existing softball, the existing youth baseball, the restroom, the existing pavilion structure, as well as the existing basketball and tennis. So that is a quick overview of concept A. Coming over to concept B. Again, the overview of the existing, as was discussed in concept A. And then overview of the new concept, which looks very similar, but I'll highlight a few key differences. So we have 2 fewer pickleball courts, same location, but to balance budget constraints, we reduce the pickleball here and are able to increase other amenities throughout the park in other areas. New multi-use fields. Rather than 2 picnic shelters, as in concept A, we're proposing 5 small picnic shelters. 2 small and 1 large. Concept B is 5 small. So again, this is the concrete pad with the table and the shelter or pavilion that can provide shade and cover from rain. With this concept B, we're proposing an adjustment or redevelopment of the softball field to become a new regulation-sized Little League field. So in total, there would be on the east side of the park, the youth field that's existing, as well as a new youth-oriented Little League baseball field that this would be regulation size. Concept B also proposes the playground. No changes at this master planning level or concept level to that design. All that was said in concept A apply as well to concept B. Again, with the raised crossings, prioritizing the pedestrian over the vehicle as you go throughout the park. The proposed trees, similar to concept A, and then the pathways similar to concept A. One difference I would like to point out in concept B, the new asphalt trail is approximately 1.5 miles as opposed to the 1 mile in concept A. That is due to the development of a passive and more leisure area up in the northeast with trail going around that instead of the additional youth field here. Something else to point out with the trails is concept B proposes access onto Guardsman Way of the existing sidewalk, as well as the existing 12-foot trail that goes along Sunnyside Avenue and then connecting back in across the bridge and back into the trail loops. This page, again, highlighting the existing amenities. So it's a little different from concept A because we're proposing that different amenities remain as they are. But that is what you can see there. And then jumping over to concept C, this is very similar in most ways to concept B. So in concept C, we have, again, the 4 pickleball courts similar to B. However, with this central area where we are proposing a change from the existing softball, we have the 1 multi-use field as well as passive recreation in this area to provide more of that type of amenity where you can come and throw a frisbee or kick a ball and just kind of hang out. Again, the same as concept B with the new picnic shelters, a spot to have lunch with your family or small group of friends. This is the same as concept B as well with the new regulation size Little League field and the new playground. This is the same as concept B, and this is the same as well. So the main change between B and C, the main difference is in the center or the heart of the park. having this become more of a passive area rather than a programmed or playable sports field. And then this last page of the PDF is again showing the existing and what would remain in use as the same function as what it is today. And with that, I will kick it back over to Jennifer.
Thank you, Seth. So with the design concepts now pulled together, we are going into the next phase of public engagement. So after everyone has had a chance to review the 3 park concepts on the project website, we invite you to take the Sunnyside Park survey and provide your feedback there. That survey will remain open through May 31st, 2025. So thank you, everyone.